Oh, for the first time, I'm using timestamps, and that's crazy because I've always wanted to use them. But this video is going to be for professionals. At least if you have been in the smudge world for a very long time, this video is going to be how to add this professional look on your smudge painting. I mean, have a very normal image like this, then transform it to something a whole lot better. And it's going to be a very amazing video because you have timestamps to go to what part of the video you want and how you want it, if you want to save time or just watch everything if you really care about what I'm doing by the scratch. What's up everybody, my name is Amshongosas and I'm here to teach you smudge painting. Let's go. Alright, so I don't know, I've forgotten her name, but I got her off Instagram. And then when you get a picture like this, some things just feel off to you. And what's the first thing that feels off to you is the color. Now let's try to fix that. But before we fix that, you notice that when I zoom into her face a little bit, you notice this blemish on her face. I mean, it's not smudged properly. Now that is one thing I like to do first when I start. Now, the first thing you want to do is to pick the smudge layer. I mean, this one on top of it. Yeah, this is the smudge layer. So I'm just gonna check this. I just name it smudge and name this right on top of here, smudged layer. So you should pretty much probably check it out. It's going to help you out. Now smudge layer, I'm going to pick the smudge brush. Yeah, this is smudge brush. It's in all my video descriptions, and I mean, watching this video means you are a professional of some sort, so I think you should have this brush already. I'm going to make the strength 20 instead of 30 by pressing 2 on my keyboard, and it has become 20. Now I'm going to increase the size with the curly bracket and just gradually blur this out. Now smudging it, and we can zoom in with the control space click to zoom in and then alternate to zoom out. Now when you come to these places, you just make sure that it is quietly blurred out. Then when you are smudging it, you should take out your time to do this properly. That's one of the biggest things that make you either a professional or just a regular guy you meet on the street. Now I know a lot of persons will look at the colors of the eyes and be like, oh, this is not perfectly blending, but you know, a lot of persons do this and then I feel like, oh god, okay, now this is not it. I feel like they should probably add a whole lot more and they should do it a whole lot better. Now this video is one I do not want to fast forward because of obvious reasons, because I want it to be like a video where you get to see what I get to do. And I mean, a lot of persons ask, so I'm thinking of how to make this a lot better. And yeah, well, I just use the brush at 20, reduce the size or increase it. I mean, when I get to a place that's much like this, I can just zoom in a little bit, then just use my brush to paint over it. I mean, just follow the pattern of the face. If there's a place like this, I'm just going to paint over this. I mean, if there's a place like this curve, I'm going to paint like this. I'm not going to paint over like this. Now I'm not going to take it off. I'm going to follow the pattern of her face. And that's what I'm going to do. I think that's like pretty much it. And you can just keep doing this and doing this. That is the first thing you want to do. So just because of time, I'm going to fast forward this a little bit. Did I just say I was not going to fast forward? I just said I was not going to fast forward right now, yeah? But it's not like, I mean, just to save time. I want to really get to show you how this is. So I'm just going to do that. And yeah. By the way, before I get to fast forward, if you are just coming to the channel for the first time, welcome. If you are just joining League of Professionals, welcome too. And I have a community on Telegram and WhatsApp that you should definitely join. You should check out the link in the description below. Tell me what you think about this timestamp. Tell me if you really like it, if you're watching this video on YouTube or off YouTube. But however, tell me if you really like it and tell me what you have been thinking about these recent videos. Yeah, I would really want to see. Now, because of that part, I'm over here. I'm working on this and yeah, trying to make it blend. That's the first one. Then the next thing is checking for if your smudge paintings have a little issue. Now, the first thing I'm going to check out is this part. Now turn this on, turn this off, on, off. Now you want to make sure the part of the body just has this exact feel with the normal body. Now one of the things you notice is this part where my brush fades, this part. So I noticed that I did not smudge it properly. So one thing you can do is like a tweak I almost do almost every time. I'm going to duplicate the smudge layer like this and clip it, of course, with the create clipping mask, and then come to this one that I've already smudged. This is the unsmudged, so I'm just going to name it unsmudged. And then come to this one I've already smudged. Use the eraser tool. This is the eraser tool. Then erase some part of this. It's going to give me the former one. Yeah, something like this. Yeah, something like this. Then merge it with this one beneath. So I'm going to select the both of them together and press Ctrl E. Then with a brush, with a smudge brush, I'll try it over again. Now if you make any mistake on the part of the face, this is one of the things you should do. I mean, don't finish and rush off and be like, oh, okay, I'm done with this and I really do not care about this. I think you should definitely try out to give it your time and definitely try out something new and something good. Well, you can keep doing this over and over and over again. And the top of the forehead is one thing you should really look at because of the highlights. I just realized that I did not end up fast forwarding this video. Well, I hope you like it eventually. Now, I'm just using 20 to blend everything in. Yeah, she has kind of a big forehead. She has a big forehead. Now, that's the first. So we have a better image, a better looking image. Oh, I did not do the before and after. But however, this is what we have, and it's a better looking image from when we started. The next is to blend the colors. Now, first thing before I blend the colors is to put the appropriate colors. Now, for the hair, this is the color many of you usually put on the hair because probably it's black. You can just you guys make it black like this, for example. And I don't think that's perfect. I think first of all, sometimes a lot of you pick colors from the hair like this, and with the alternate and backspace, you add the color like this. That was why I added the first one, but I think it's black and it's wrong. So what I do is this. I pick a color from the face. This is how I choose my colors. Pick a color from the face, for example. Then in the slider, I'm going to go all the way down and take it to the less saturated, maybe somewhere here. Then alternate and backspace to add the color. Now this looks better, but I think it has a little bit of saturation, so I'm going to take it all the way down here like this and alternate and backspace, and it feels like it's okay or it's better. I can make it a little bit unsaturated too, like this, and take it somewhere like this. I think this looks a lot more convenient to look at. So I'm just going to do something really quick so you get to see. So this was how it was before. This is the color we added now. Before and now. Before and now. So yeah, I think she's good. Yeah, this is what we have now. So the next thing I want to do is for the lip. Now for the lip color, this is what a lot of you add. But the lip doesn't have one color. It has two colors. The up and the down lip. Now, so this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to take off the normal color on this place. And this is how the picture actually was before I added colors. Now I'm going to pick a color from here. And yeah, picking a color from here, I'm going to add a color on the lip. And that's what I added a color like this. So if I pick a color from here, this is what I have. But now that's wrong. So I'm going to pick the top color like this. And alternate and backspace, I have a color like this. But this doesn't look very right at all. So what I'm going to do is pick a color from the lower lip, pick the brush tool, probably make the opacity, say 30 or 40 or thereabouts, increase the size a little bit, then paint right over this place. Right over this place, yeah. Just to give it this feel. I mean, there's nobody's lip that the up and the lower lip, they are the same. So now I've gotten this. The next thing I do is take the slider up and add a little bit of saturation. Then come back here and right on top of her lip here, I'm adding a little depth of field to make it look better. Yeah, this is it. So this is how we had before, this is what we have now. If you think it doesn't go well with you, you can pick probably the pink color that comes with the picture and just add a little bit of it here, a little bit of pink. Yeah, so but make sure you always save. That is one thing you should always do as a professional. Always save. Now this is what we have. Now for the skin, another color that I think is wrong is the skin. So this is what we have now. Now for the skin, I think the skin color is wrong. Now you think I just probably added a bad color to do this video, but that's not true. I'm going to pick a color like this color for example, and I'm going to create a new layer here and add the color right under it. So I'm going to press alternate and backspace to add color right now. So alternate and backspace and go to attributes and go to color. This is how it is. So compare with the one I had before. You see, they are the same because I picked the normal color from the picture. So one thing I like doing is picking a color from the picture, for example, I like picking a color from the picture, probably where I know it's less saturated, not so saturated. So I'll pick a color like this and alternate that backspace to add this new color, and this color looks a lot more satisfying to look at. That is because it's not on the reddish side of this picture. Now, one of the things I do is to take the slider up a bit, then make it a little bit unsaturated. Somewhere around this place is good. Remember, it was somewhere around here. So I take it up a bit, then take it to the right. Now when I do this, I feel like it's a whole lot better. Other than backspace, I've added this color. Now this color looks a lot more natural than the former color. So before and now, so I'm going to go back a little bit so you see how this looks. This looks a lot more natural. This looks a lot more natural than this, and now the hair color has blended in. Now for the eyebrow, I do the same thing I do with the normal hair color, and it's very simple. I pick this color, then I pick the normal skin color, go all the way down, pick it all the way down, then add a little bit of saturation. I don't make it so dark, but yeah, something like that, something that gives, yeah, this is good. Pick brush, and yeah, this. So this is not bad. This is not bad at all. Even if it's looking like it's not changing, but yeah, this is not bad. It's not totally bad. Or I can select something up here. And remember, I duplicated these layers before and added oil paints to them. But now this is what I'm doing. I'm just going to select the brow. Where's the brow? Yeah, the brow. Come over here to the top, add alternate and backspace, and go to the color. Yeah, this is better. So I'm going to show you how it was before. This is okay. I think they're pretty much the same. They're pretty much the same. So now the blending the colors out is very simple. For professionals, I think if you have been in the game for a very long time, you should use your eraser too. But if not, you can add a layer mask and use your layer mask. But I think as for professionals, let's use the layer mask. So I'm adding the layer mask to the eyebrow, for example. Once you add the layer mask, you should choose the brush tool and make your resolution, make your opacity say 50 or thereabout, increase it, then make it dark. Now the reason we make it dark is because the layer mask itself is white. So when we add a dark color to it, where's the brush? When you add a dark color to it, it kind of takes out the effect on that. So you can probably just do that like this. Then probably make the opacity 50. Yeah, that would work. And carefully fade out the edges by yourself. I know there are things like feathering on Photoshop, but I think you should feather it yourself so you give it the whole depth. You can keep. I don't think I did a very nice job with smudging this. Now, one of the first things I do most times to work on the skin is because I just press the control and click on the body, then I'm able to smudge. But now clicking on that is going to be on the skin color. Type that in, skin color. So what I just do is to lock it down. So anytime I just click on it, it goes to this. Okay, I'm just going to leave that. And then I click on it, just go to the smudge layer, and yeah, I just smudge that out. So for blemish, yeah, this is one of the tricks I do. Not trick, it's just kind of a shortcut for me. Yeah, so you can keep doing that. I don't think it's a perfect smudge. I really do not, but I mean, yeah, we can make this video a 50-hour tutorial. Then for the eyelashes, it's almost the same thing. I'm just going to use the eraser tool and clean that out. What is the eraser tool to clean that out? I think this is going to be a lot better. So just clean this out. Yeah, like this. Then this, I'm just going to clean this out too. Here, like this. Yeah. Now, when you get to this part, you want to make the opacity say 20 and come down a bit and work on this. Why I don't take it all out is because if I take it all out, for example, I turn this off, you see that this is how it is now. But I don't want it to be like that. I don't want it to remain like that. So yeah, this is what I have now. Looks a lot better and looks a lot more beautiful. You see? Now I notice that the eyebrow is too sharp. This eyebrow is too sharp, so I'm going to pick the eyebrow with the brush. Now you notice that what I did for the eyelashes is to use the eraser tool, but for this I'm using this. That's like my shortcut most times. So I'm just going to fade this out a bit here, fade it out a bit, probably make the opacity say 20 by pressing to on my keyboard, and yeah, this. So I think this has a perfect blend. Now for the lip here, nobody has a lip like this, so I'm just going to have this blend too. One of the things you want to do is, people like oil painting the lip of the person they are working on. So one of the things I like to do is, on a smudge layer for example, I like blending out the lip. I don't like having this just oil painted lip. I like adding, probably smudging it out a bit, just to give it this. I like having total control about what I'm doing. I like those things coming out just the way I want them to come out, not totally depending on what oil paint gives me. So yeah, this. I've always been against smudging the lip, but I noticed that against oil painting the lip. Sorry, but I noticed that doing that recently, just oil painting it mildly kind of helps what you are doing, especially when you want to be fast and you have probably deadlines to meet up. So you can just work on this and probably have a better smudge like this. Yes, yeah, like this. This is like the perfect touch, something you get to do when you're done. And then another thing you can do is probably make sure you add colors to the gum. Now I've not selected the gum color, but right above here you can add any layer here. So I'm just going to create a new layer and name this gum color. Well, I did not name the former layers because that is what people that are not professionals do. They just, create new layers and create new layers. But professionals just realize that, oh, okay, I need to define these things. It doesn't look like so much of a big deal to me, but if you're a newbie, you feel like, oh, this is so much of a big deal, but I don't think it's so much of a big deal to me. So I'll do this and then pick a color here and reduce it a bit. I think this is okay. So I'm just going to press Alt in the backspace to add it right behind it. And that's because I have the teeth layer right above it. Go to attributes, color. That is what I have. Now having this is not very realistic. It's nice, but it's not very realistic because the top of this gum is not as dark as this. So I'm going to add a darker color. So something like this and unsaturated. So the brush tool, I'll make the opacity. I'll increase the opacity, say to 87 or so. Just nothing to, yeah, something like this. So this doesn't look bad totally. So you can always compare it with the one you had before. So I'm going to turn this one off. So before and now. So I don't think this is totally bad. I think it actually looks better. And one of the things I do still is to blend it in. So I'm blending it in with the eraser tool. For example, the first I do is to make the opacity, probably make it 20. Yeah, by pressing 2 on the keyboard. I think I like the number 20. So I don't know what happened when I turned 20. So I'm just going to paint over this. Like this. Like this, yeah. And then beside the cheek, beside the lip, I'm just going to paint over this. Yeah, just kind of fade it out by myself. Then when I get to these hard edges, for example, I'm going to make it say 80. And just paint over this, make it blend in, make it look better to look at, So yeah, this. Then come over to this place, this. Yeah, something like this would be nice. So if you go very close to the picture, then you notice that there are a lot of blemish in it, but I'm not sticking to that. Another thing is her eyes. She has very catchy eyes. So one thing I like to do is to go to the eyes, for example, and change the color. First of all, she doesn't have blue eyes. She's not one of these X-Men guys. So what do? I just basically take out the eyebrow eyelashes. So one of the things I do is to tweak the color. Now this is the normal blue color. I usually take the slider up a bit and just make it very unsaturated. That's very close to this. Very close to this. I don't take it all the way to the white. I make it bluish a little bit. I like giving this little bluish feel. So this is what we have now. Oh, I think this is not very realistic. So I'm going to make it down, take it down a bit. They probably add a little bit of saturation. And this is what I have. But I'm going to pick the brush tool and right on her iris, or is that what it's called? I'm going to pick this on right on her iris, make it a little bit unsaturated. And yeah, something like this. And yeah, this. Just make this, give her this brownish, a little bit brownish color on her eyes. Yeah, something like this. Don't make it too brown, but making things too obvious kind of ruins them. So I don't try to do that. Then the next I'm going to do is add colors here, right beside her eye. I don't know what it's called, the corner of the eyes. If you know what it's called, please let me know. Then I'm going to just add a little bit of color here with opacity at 40, and this kind of color, I mean, saturated a little bit. That's why I'm making the opacity not so much. Then I'm going to have this. Yes, this. Now this is what I have now. I think this looks a lot better than how it was before. It has this beautiful feel. Now this is what I have, and if you notice, this is a lot better. One of the things that I add as a game changer, and I really do not like seeing it in my videos because it feels like one of my tricks, is the extra layer you add above the skin. I'm going to create a new layer here above the skin layer, a new layer, and name this say other colors. Now if you look at any picture, probably this, you notice that this picture is not flat. I mean, some part of the face here has little colors. I mean, this was probably edited, but some part here, look at this place properly. It has this slightly pinkish feel here, and that's how it is. That's how pictures are generally. So this looks very flat. So one of the things I do is to pick the normal color here and make it unsaturated a bit. Okay, unsaturated a bit, and with the brush tool, I don't make the opacity very much. Say 40. Let's start with 40 and check how it is. So I'm just going to pick here and paint over here. So I noticed that I've not turned the attributes to color, so I'm going to go over to color. Okay, so this is what we'll have. Something like this. I'm just going to paint right. Okay, so I think this is good. I'm going to paint in this axis right under her. Okay, I think the opacity is too much. Right under her nose, something like this. But this doesn't look clean at all, so I'm just going to clean it up later. And yeah, this is what we'll have right under her jaw and this part. Just add this. But then if it doesn't look good by you or to you, you can always use the eraser tool and take out the part you feel like, okay, I think this part is not very nice to me. So I like making it very subtle. I even reduce the opacity when I'm done at the end sometimes. So yeah, then after this, the next thing I'm going to do is to add the extra layer on her face. Now one of the tricks you need to learn is that the nose, this part of the face, this part, they always have this blood. I mean, these parts they have this, I don't know if blood flows through them, but I know that your ears and your nose, somehow they're a little bit pink. So I'm just going to pick a little bit of pink or reddish, a little bit, and add a little bit of red somewhere around this like the middle of the whole color. I'm going to pick that up with the brush tool. I'm going to add this like this. Just pick this, yeah, something like this. Then on this place, I'm going to add this color. Then on the chin. Okay, I think this is not as red enough, so something like this. Yeah, I think this is good. And then the jaw is nice, and some part of her body here. So I think this is good. Now this looks like it's too obvious and it's not nice at all. Well, you just realize that it just pops up the whole image. Then the next I add is probably a little bit of orange. Then add orange just beside the face here, this part. And yeah, something like this is going to turn out very well, like this. Yeah, now she looks like a masquerade with lots of makeup, but but it's not as bad as that. So this is what we'll have now. So the next thing I would do is to reduce the opacity. Now if I reduce the opacity to say 40, now before and now, it doesn't look like it's so much from far, but going close, you notice that this is before we had it and now. Look properly, look closely, before and now, before and now. Look at this part of the face and before and now. So you see that it has popped up very well. Another thing I like doing is on the shirt, for example, we put colors on the shirt, and this is what we have. This was the former shirt and this is how it is now. So I don't think this looks very good. I think it's okay, but since it's like a white and a green Shade, what I usually do is to reduce the opacity of the green, or add a green that probably complements white. So I'm going to reduce the opacity first, something like this. So it looks a little bit cartoonish, but it doesn't look totally real. So something like this, okay, say 40%. And then for the hair, I think this high is now, and it's a lot better. So one of the last things I like doing is add shadows and highlights, and this is where the whole icing of the cake comes up. So the smudge layer, I'm going to duplicate it with the Ctrl J and clip it, of course, with holding down alternate and clip, and I'll use the bone. Now the bone is here. Now if you are watching this video, it means somehow you've watched my other videos, and I don't know, it's nice. So one of the things I like doing is to go to the side of the face where I know my color did not complement because of how the picture was. I mean, side of the face here, this part, yeah, this part. Just go to this part and add little bit, little, and this, yeah, something like this. Yeah, it's just going to make her look a lot more beautiful and dashing. Now, when you get to some parts that are very obvious like this, you can probably add a little shade of on the brow. Yeah. Yeah, something like this. Now, when you have a part that gives you a lot of issue, there's one very easy trick you can do. And it's use your brush, your pen tool, and you come to the side of the face. For example, if this place is not so obvious, you would probably draw a line to the side of the face, how you want it to be, to the side of the nose, and choose the bond to reduce the brush size to how you want it to be, probably make it very small, and press enter one, maybe enter twice, and take it off. And this is what it has. This is how it was before. Let me show you before and now. So see, before and now. Now you can do that to this as well, just in case you have any part that is not so obvious. You can do that to this as well. Okay, so now this is too much. You see what I was telling you about not making it too much? So I can reduce the strength. Yeah, this doesn't look very obvious, but I mean, little details are what makes the whole picture pop up. Now when you're working on this, you can always smudge and I mean add your highlights and shadows and stuff just to make it pop up. Now one of the things I like adding is the shadows and highlights. I just finished adding the shadows, now I'm going to add in the highlights. So with the highlights, I'm just going to pick out. Now with the highlights, sometimes you should add midtones first, depends on the image. Now with the midtone, it's not going to be so much. I'm going to make the exposure say 20, and just give her this little cheeky feel. Yeah, on her cheek. It should not be too much. Some people come with like 60 and just do this thing. It doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. Really, you're going to ruin what you're doing. So I just like going with say 20, and yeah, something like this. And then the forehead, yeah, like this, and the jaw like this. Yeah, I think this is pretty much it. And then you can add probably highlights now. Don't make the shadows too much. You can add probably good highlights now. And first of all, I like adding one on top of her nose here, then just beside here, because light falls from the top of her face. Light is falling to this part of the face here, so we have one here, and right on top of her eyelashes, so we have one here. So this is good. Then beside the eyes too, just to make the eyes very obvious, I add this, I add this too, just to make it very obvious. Yeah, something like this. And sometimes when you're done, you can just smudge it out by yourself. I mean, add the smudge and smudge it out by yourself. So this is good. This is good. And right under her chin here too, that's one thing I do. I just add this highlight to it. And on her forehead, I just maybe a drop of highlight, if there's anything like that, a drop of highlight. Yes, this video has been strictly, I've not been able to tell stories. It has been strictly videos and what we're doing. Then you can add one here, just to make that obvious. And if you want to give her bigger boobs, you should not do that. But you can add something like this here. Yeah, this. Then make the mid part darker. Yeah, like this. Pay attention to a lot of things like her teeth ring or whatever this is. I don't know what that is, but you can pay attention to that. Yeah, another thing you should do is to fade out the teeth color. Now this is the teeth color. I'm going to fade it out a little bit because no teeth is white way back inside. So one of the things I do is to probably delete it a bit with the eraser tool and reduce this so it looks very natural. You see, then you can reduce the opacity to say 95. Yeah, 95 would do. 95. Yeah, 95 gives you this feel that it blends in. It doesn't look like it's much, but it is in the long run. So this is what we have now. Yeah, and then for the hair, you should take very, very key notes to that. And then for the hair, the mid part of it is, I feel like it's too much. So one of the things I do is to erase this part, the middle, erase it. Yeah, and then we have this. Now this looks a lot better. Sometimes the color you have on this part of the head will be different from the color you have on the face, and that's because the color we had on the face was different from the main picture. So one of the things you should do is adding a main color here. I mean the main color of the picture and adding one right above it. I mean because when we take away the color, what we'll have is the main picture color. So we're going to add it back and add one color underneath. So this is color. So this is how it is now. Oh, I don't think that looks very good, but not to worry. You can always add it back with the brush tool. You can always add it back. Yeah, this. Okay, so I think this is basically what we have. So lastly, before I go out, you can work on the shirt too. One of the ways I work on the shirt is to, okay, I'm going to duplicate it and clip it. One of the ways I work on the shirt is to add the bone. I just give the shirt a dimension to how I want it to be. Just give shirt a little bit of dimension, nothing really spectacular or out of the box, just a dimension, and that is it. Now lastly, I'm going to add the shadows and midtones and highlights. Oh, I can just color balance it. With the color balance, I'm going to click it and just tweak the color how I want it a bit, how you want it the picture to look like. And yeah, something like this and this. So this looks good. And yeah, the highlight, you can just tweak it to how you want it to be. So I think this is good. This is good. This looks good. And yeah, so this is what we have. So you asked me what are the finishing touches I have. These are the finishing touches I have. And I think the hair is kind of too dark or too bright. So you should take note of all these things. You should take note of them every time. Now I'm going to pick the bond tool and just add a little bit of darkness to the hair. I think I want the hair a little bit dark to show it's an original wave. Girls like their waves original. So this is what we have. This is what we have. And it looks very heartwarming if you ask me. Well, at the end of the day, you can have something very nice. Well, I'm going to turn this off and on, off and on, off and on. Then you can pick out the blemish, what I didn't do well, what you think I should have done better, and then correct it. You can always correct what you do. Always correct it and keep correcting it and keep correcting it until you have something beautiful and something nice. But this is how I work on pictures. This is the workflow to tweak the colors of the eyes, the lip, the mouth, and everything. And then you're going to have something really perfect. Well, lastly, one of the things you can do is to add, I've said lastly like 4 times. Well, yeah, lastly, one of the things you can do is to add the background. You can either get a background from pixels.com or just add a dark background. Dark backgrounds would make it look a lot better. Let me try. So dark background, no, I just want to add a proper dark background. Where are you? So I'm just going to come right underneath all these ones and add a dark background. Something like this doesn't look bad at all. A dark background like this doesn't look bad at all. I think this is too much. You can probably just use a plain color or add that. I don't know if that's what I'm going to post on my Instagram. I might just probably add a little bit of background later. And then, yeah, something like this. Probably choose a color of the background and give her something like this. Yeah, something like this. Something like this is going to look very good. Not so much, but enough. So this is good, plain and beautiful. You can go as well as adding the hair strands and other things to it, but this is how I work on pictures. Tell me what you think about the video and probably drop a like, drop a comment. If you're watching this video off YouTube, please go back on YouTube and drop a comment. It's going to help the channel a whole lot. This is where I have issues saying my name and saying signing out. This Armstrong sign whoa. This is Armstrong signing out. This is Armstrong signing out. Bye bye.